Welcome to Aubrey, Texas.
Welcome to the North Texas Streaming Network.
Welcome to the North Texas Streaming Network.
Welcome in to the North Texas Streaming Network.
It's one that on paper...
North Texas Streaming Network is a compilation of UNT students who are actively working to achieve their dreams and earn experience in the scarce field of sports journalism. With multiple cameras, multiple mics, an operating board, and many more types of equipment, it takes the entire crew to get the show live, none of which could be done without the headmaster of the operation, Zach Babb.
I guess the genesis of NTSN was really kind of a collaborative effort between me and Dan Balla, who's the GM at KNTU. As KNTU was planning some changes in how they did their programming, there was, an avenue. They were looking for new avenues for students to get involved, and so, when this project kind of first was starting to be a possibility, it was kind of an effort between me and Dan, to kind of make it like, what can we do to get students more opportunities under the umbrella of KNTU?
We exceeded our expectations when it comes to student participation. It was much bigger than we thought it would be, and that's great. I know several other students showed a great interest and realized that the experience that you could get from doing either play-by-play or running a camera or being technical director or graphics or whatever it is, doing that week in and week out, you get better and better. And we could see our broadcast getting better and better from the early part of the season towards the end.
The thought of a university owning and operating a streaming service was new, but the idea had to come from somewhere.
And so that's kind of where the original idea came from, was this group of stations up in Ardmore that, added a video streaming service to what they offered. And it was a huge success, and that's Ardmore, Oklahoma. And we thought, well, if Ardmore, Oklahoma can do that, there's got to be a town district somewhere in Texas that'll jump all over that. And so that's kind of where it came from.
That began the partnership with Aubrey ISD and NTSN, broadcasting from the home of the Chaparrals.
It was, overall, I would call it a big success. I mean, I think there's obvious areas where we can improve on. I'm not going to sit here and say that, we pulled off the perfect operation in year one. But at the same time, there was a lot of learning that went into it. We got started so late in the process that, we didn't have a deal signed until late July last year. So we had nothing. We were scrambling to get equipment. We were scrambling to get students. It was, building this thing from the ground up in about a 5-week span. And so all of that considered, I think it was a huge success because we got it off the ground. It did get on air. We didn't really have any problems, connecting. We sold a couple ad dollars from local businesses in Aubrey that were interested, and then we had the capacity and interest from students at UNT who wanted to be involved and do something, be that on-air work or technical directing behind the scenes, working cameras, running graphics, things of that nature. We kind of found at least a couple people, if not more, in every category who wanted to do something. And so, kind of a combination of, Aubrey giving us that access and us being able to get it off the ground in the time frame that we were allotted, and then the students who really had a drive to make it successful all added up to a pretty successful first season.
In its first year, NTSN covered 9 football games, 10 men's and women's basketball games, and over 15 baseball and softball games. All of this while amassing over 250 subscribers on YouTube and over 25,000 views for the first season. But even after a successful season and getting the program off the ground, KNTU GM Dan Balla still wants to make additions to increase the quality of an already impressive stream.
Zach and I have talked about an additional camera that, for example, focuses on the scoreboard, so it'll be like a timer clock that's inserted into the broadcast, an instant replay. And there are little things within the broadcast that we can add to our production. And all those little things take time and effort in training students, and we'll get there. But in terms of adding, I think the broadcast that we do already is pretty impressive, considering, again, it was our first year. And there are there is a potential that we will add more districts, and it's difficult to find districts that understand exactly what they would benefit from what we do.
The North Texas Streaming Network officially agreed to terms with Aubrey ISD on the upcoming 2023-2024 season. Safe to say it truly was a match made in heaven, but with cables getting cut and broadcasting platforms struggling to sign deals, are streaming networks the future of sports media?
There's a future for it. And there are jobs waiting for students that do this type of work as it grows, and it is growing fast. I can tell you I'm very close to people in Oklahoma that are doing this. There are commercial companies that, generally speaking, either are teamed up with radio or TV, and these companies have grown this business where they stream sports for local high schools, and they're moving into colleges as well, and they're having a hard time finding young people who know what to do.